Welcome to the Dinosaur Review for Kids podcast, a show all about reviewing dinosaurs on a scale of 1 to 10 fossils before only the elite terrible lizards make it into the prehistoric cage match. This program is presented by the Stomp Chomp Roar Company and can be heard within all the rock layers across the planet. Grab your dinosaurs and your official scorecard because it's now time to dig for dinosaurs. Here's your Mesozoic host, Dinosaur Ranger Anthony.
Good day, my junior paleontologists. Have you ever thought about being a wizard? Wouldn't that just be the coolest thing ever? If so, then you've come to the right place, because on today's episode, we're going to the wizarding world of Harry Potter, aka we're headed to the Hogwarts Castle. But before we grab our wands for today's dragon-like review, remember this is your host, Dinosaur Ranger, or should I say, Dinosaur Wizard, Anthony. And thank you all so much for returning to the 74th episode of the Dinosaur Review for Kids podcast. Now, before we jump straight into platform 9 3/4, like the pin on my shirt right here, let me give you all a couple quick facts about the young wizard known as Harry Potter. Now, Harry is from a series of 7 books written by the author J.K. Rowling. And the books follow Harry learning all about the wizarding world, finding out about his parents, and defeating the evil Lord Voldemort. Now, the school that Harry attends is called the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. And the school is also broken up into 4 houses. We have Gryffindor, Slytherin, Hufflepuff, and Ravenclaw. Now, throughout the books, we also follow many of Harry's friends and foes, like Ron, Hermione, and Draco Malfoy. Harry also seeks the help from many supporting characters, like lovable Hagrid, Dumbledore, Dobby, and Professor Snape. Well, let's jump through the platform, you guys, and take a seat on the train to the Hogwarts Castle. But before we get there, let's do our fun fact, our Dino Bus segment, and give a few shout-outs for this week. So let's start off with our Dino Fun Fact. Now, just like mythical creatures technically aren't real, today's genus might not even be a real dinosaur. That's right! Some scientists believe that today's genus is simply just a juvenile Pachycephalosaurus. And they also think that the Stygimoloch is just a teenage Pachycephalosaurus. This theory suggests that today's genus slowly lost its horns over time and its skull changed shape. Crazy, right? You would need a wizard to do all those crazy things. So I totally believe in today's genus. Now, our Dino Bus. How is the Dino Bus going? I finally received some good news about finding some commercial auto insurance and some general liability insurance for the Dino Bus project. It looks like things can continue to move forward. Now, we just need to find our Dream Bus, which is a little harder than you'd think. There's just so many different factors to think about. How old is the bus? Does the bus run good? What does the bus look like? Does the bus require a CDL? How far away is the bus? And of course, how much does the bus cost? I think it would be totally cool if we could find a bus, you guys, that would maybe require a little bit of a road trip and do a cross-country trip with our Dino Bus so that we can bring it home to my home here in Omaha. So nonetheless, stay tuned for more. Now, you guys, let's give a few shout-outs from this week. Congratulations to our 2nd annual Stomp Chomp Roar Dinosaur Award winners. We had 1st place goes to David, 2nd place went to Salem, and 3rd place went to Lincoln. All of their artwork that they submitted was truly dynamite, and I can't say thank you guys enough for submitting your artwork. It all looked great, and congratulations on being this year's Stomp Chomp Roar Dinosaur Award winners. Now, shout out to the Pacific Springs Hy-Vee out on 180th and Pacific here in Omaha. We had an event called Breakfast with Dinosaur Ranger Anthony. We had all kinds of kids come out, even some familiar ones that I recognize from around the community. They came out, you guys saw me, my fossil cart, paleo, all my awesome stuff, you guys. They all learned so much about dinosaurs and maybe even had a little bit of breakfast too. A very happy birthday to Elsie. We went and did their stomp and greet birthday party last weekend and had so much fun in their driveway teaching her and all of her friends all about prehistoric life. Thank you to NO for having me at her family's end of the summer party. They also had a bounce house and Spider-Man, and I was there to teach all the kids about dinosaurs. It was a fun little wrap up for their friends and family as summer is truly coming to the end because it's starting to get cold here in Nebraska. Now, also a shout out to all the out-school learners that took part in my Halloween dinosaur shows last week. We even did one on Friday the 13th, and we learned all so much about dinosaurs while also having some Halloween fun from that mad paleontologist Anthony with his crazy white Einstein hair. Truly, was that really my hair? I don't think so, but it was still tons of fun. Now, also a shout out to the Hitchcock Elementary STEM Day. I went there last Wednesday, taught all the first graders about paleontology, fossils, dinosaurs, extinction, and all the prehistoric creatures that lived here in Nebraska long ago. Now let's grab our wands, our spell books, and don't forget about your Quidditch brooms because it's time to get off the train and head into the Hogwarts Castle for our next review. Aloha Mora! Here we are, my junior dinosaur wizards. We've made it inside the castle, and it's time to review no one other than the Dracorex Hogwartsia. The Dracorex Hogwartsia. Now, this dinosaur name, it sounds like Hogwarts, and that's because it's named after the Hogwarts Castle in the Harry Potter movies. This dinosaur name means the Dragon King of Hogwarts. The Dracorex Hogwartsia is the Dragon King of Hogwarts. Now, what's the dinosaur order for this genus? What kind of dinosaur is it? Well, our Dracorex is an ornithischian. Those are the bird-hip dinosaurs before it falls into the Marginocephalia suborder. And those are either the frilled dinosaurs, like our ceratopsians, or more of our dome skull dinosaurs, like our pachycephalosaurids. And then this one also falls in the family, the pachycephalosaurids, because as you know, it has more of a domed or armored skull. So again, an ornithischian, a Marginocephalia, and then a pachycephalosaurid for our Dracorex. But how big was this dinosaur? What was its length, its height, and its weight? Well, our Dracorex is quite a bit smaller than its main family member, the Pachycephalosaurus. The Dracorex is only up to 10 feet long, or 3 meters, 4 feet high, or 1.2 meters, and then only weighing around 150 pounds. So this one might be the perfect wizarding pet for Harry Potter. Ditch that Hedwig the owl and get yourself a Dracorex. Now our Pachycephalosaurus up to 15 feet long and 5 feet high and weighing around 1,000 pounds. So our Dracorex is a little bit smaller than that main family member. Now, how fast was the Dracorex? Did it have wings? Could it be a dragon flying around the Hogwarts Castle? Well, it didn't have any wings, but it is running and walking around back during the Mesozoic era. So I didn't find too much on the speed of our Dracorex, but when I looked at the Pachycephalosaurus, I saw that it was probably around 7 to 15 miles per hour. It's walking in a bipedal and quadrupedal stance, so it can probably walk and run around on 2 legs, but as it's going down eating all kinds of food off the ground, it's getting down to all 4 legs. But it totally would have been cool if it had wings and it was flying around. But what weapons or defense did this dinosaur have? What characteristics did our Dracorex Hogwartsia have? Let's first talk about its skull. Its skull is what's putting it away from the rest of those Pachycephalosaurids. It has a flat flat skull and not a dome. It's not a dome head like our Pachycephalosaurus. It's more flat. But it is also filled with sharp spikes and horns. It looks like a dragon. It truly looks like some kind of mythical creature from the Harry Potter franchise. Our Dracorex with all these horns behind its skull. The skull is flat, all these horns coming out of the back and on the top. It truly looks like some kind of mythical dragon-like creature. It's just too cool. Now, along with those horns, it has all kinds of nodes and osteoderms on its head for all kinds of protection up there. And it was probably used a little bit for display. They could tell each other apart between their friends and family, maybe some mating so they could attract to mate you guys, or maybe even a little bit of butting. Maybe some of the ones in their herd could butt their heads together and a little bit of maybe some combat between friends and family, or maybe just playing around. They're probably not using it too much for defense against other carnivore dinosaurs. And I shouldn't have said other carnivores, because this one truly isn't a carnivore, but we'll get to that in a second. But it definitely would have protected itself if it came down to it. They might have been able to butt them with their horns a little bit. Now, this one also has two fenestra up there on its skull. Those are skull openings, making their skull a little bit more lightweight, helping their brain stay cool, and maybe helping their skin, you guys, their muscle, be able to hold on to their bodies a little bit. Now, along with that flat skull, they have a long snout with sharp, serrated teeth. That's right, I said sharp, serrated teeth. But aren't the Pachycephalosaurids herbivores? Aren't these plant eaters? I don't know. Maybe they're an omnivore, so they're eating a little bit of meat and a little bit of plants. So they believe they're eating more plants. So I haven't seen a number, but I would say at least 80% is going to be all kinds of plants. And then maybe 20%, maybe they're putting a little bit of meat into their diet from all kinds of little things that they're finding down on the bedrock, down on the ground during the Mesozoic era. So because of those serrated teeth, we believe this one might actually be somewhat of an omnivore. Now, along with that skull, it's just so cool up there, we got to talk about their small body. So their body is small, walking on two legs like I mentioned. They're bipedal. They've got short arms with 5-fingered claws. Now, maybe they could get down on all fours as they're going down getting all kinds of food, but the arms are quite short. So I'm not 100% sure they would be able to touch down onto the ground if they were leaning over eating all kinds of food and using their beak to shred all the food and using those serrated teeth back there just to grind everything away as they're swallowing their chicken salads. They're omnivores. Now, they also have a long, stiff tail behind them, a good sense of smell, and they're herding dinosaurs. They're somewhat probably living in a herd, just like our Pachycephalosaurus, and that's going to help protect them as well. Now, where did this dinosaur live, and how long did the Dracorex genus live during the Mesozoic era? So this dinosaur is coming in those rock layers between 70 to 65 million years ago during the late Cretaceous period. It's found here in North America in the upland regions of the Hell Creek Formation. And it was found in South Dakota in 2004, named in 2006 by the paleontologists Robert Baca and Rob Sullivan. Now, the holotype, you guys, which is the first specimen ever found, was found by a team of 3 paleontologists from Sioux City, Iowa, which is just a couple hours away from Omaha here where I live. It's just a little ways north. Now, this one has an interesting theory like I mentioned earlier in our sneak peek. Our Dracorex Hogwartsia, is it its own genus? There's a theory from some very reputable paleontologists that our Dracorex is just a young Pachycephalosaurid. Isn't that so sad? I want our Dracorex to be its own genus. And I kind of think it is, because how did our Dracorex start altering its skull? It changed the shape of its skull. Now, maybe it did lose its horns. Maybe the horns do grow away as it's getting older. But how does it change the shape of its skull as it goes from a Dracorex as a young one to a Stygimoloch as a teenager and then to a Pachycephalosaurus as a grown adult? So for me, I'm sticking on to faith that the Dracorex is definitely its own mythical creature or mythical dinosaur that maybe lived around Hogwarts back with Harry Potter. So you guys, what is going to be our score for our Dracorex, our Dragon King of Hogwarts? A quick recap. This dinosaur only 10 feet long and only 4 feet high, weighing 150 pounds. It definitely could be a pet in the Harry Potter movies. Only running 715 miles per hour in a bipedal stance. They have that flat skull on their head. It's not domed, but it's still cool because it's filled with all kinds of sharp spikes and horns. It's very dragon-like on their flat skull up there. All kinds of nodes, osteoderms for protection. They have a small body, you guys, small arms with 5-fingered claws, a long stiff tail behind them, good sense of smell, and don't forget about those sharp serrated teeth for being an omnivore. And this one lived back during the late Cretaceous period. So our Dracorex, what does it score today on the Dinosaur Review for Kids podcast? This one, as we know, is not very big, so it's not going to score totally too high, but at the end of the day, I felt really comfortable giving our Dracorex a 5.2. A 5.2 for our Dracorex. No, I couldn't give it a 9.34 like the platform from Harry Potter. I had to give it a 5.2 on the Dinosaur Review for Kids podcast inside the Hogwarts Castle. That was terrific, wasn't it? What an amazing looking dinosaur genus. Do you think that Dracorex scored a high enough score to earn maybe a butterbeer or even the golden snitch? I sure hope so. And the Dracorex isn't a huge dinosaur, but it still would have made an awesome wizarding pet like I mentioned. Harry should totally trade in Hedwig and get a Dracorex as his wizarding pet. I definitely would have wanted one. Now, one thing's for sure, you guys. If you take the 5.2 that the Dracorex scored on today's podcast and you add those two numbers together, you get the number 7, which is how many Harry Potter books there were. And this is also a powerful number in magic and in the wizarding world, you guys. So shout out to the wizards of Harry Potter and a 5.2 for our Dracorex. Now, as you remember this season, after each review, I'm doing a short interview with one of my Patreon club members. So let's head back into the Hogwarts Castle and meet another junior dinosaur ranger. Accio, Accio! All right, today I am joined by one of my most creative Patreon club members. This junior dinosaur ranger loves making things with his hands, from countless number of custom Lego creations to even pipe cleaner dinosaurs and dragons. So let's all give a wizarding hello to junior dinosaur ranger Canyon. Welcome, Canyon, to our interview for today. How are you doing this morning?
Not bad. I'm still
Awesome.
sick.
Oh man, but you have a pretty cool looking dragon right there, huh?
Yep.
That
I
one's
do have a name for this one.
What's that one's name?
Ices Flames.
Very nice. That's a very cool mythical looking dragon. But first things first, I always like to ask this right away. Are you team herbivore or team carnivore?
I'll have to think about that.
Do you like the plant eaters or the meat eaters better? I would
I
guess
like
both. So team omnivore.
Yes.
That perfect. Awesome. Now, do you have a favorite dinosaur?
3 of them.
Yeah,
There.
what are they?
Titanosaurus, Spinosaurus, and T-Rex.
Awesome. Perfect. Now, if you
Hence
had a
my T-Rex stuffy that eats everything in sight.
Yeah, little Edie. You have that little T-Rex stuffy named Edie, huh?
Yeah, he's sleeping in today.
Man, that's very good, huh? I wish I could sleep in for today. But why do you like the T-Rex? Why are they one of your favorite dinosaurs?
Oh, they just are.
They are, because it's the Tyrant Lizard King, huh? And they're
Yeah.
big. What if the T-Rex actually had wings and was a dragon? Wouldn't that be cool?
Yes.
That would be amazing for sure. Now, do you have a favorite dinosaur memory? Like, what's your most favorite memory when you think of dinosaurs? Like maybe a museum or a movie or a book?
Oh no.
What's your favorite museum you've gone to?
I forget the name of the museum, but they had this big T-Rex skeleton statue outside.
Very
It
cool.
might have been where I got in Edie. I think it was in Montana or maybe Idaho.
Awesome. Yeah, I remember when you went to Montana last year and seen all
Uh,
those cool museums, huh?
yeah, I think it was called the Rocky Road Museum or something.
Very nice.
Like
Yeah, that's very cool.
museum.
Now
The
let's get.
T-Rex out front had a name, but I forget it
Oh
because I
man.
haven't been there in a while.
Yeah. Well, today I did my review on the Dracorex Hogwartsia, and I scored it a 5.2 out of 10. Do you think that's a good score, a 5.2 for our
And
Dracorex? Yeah, just kind of right there in the middle, huh? But
I would
still a
probably
really
give
cool
it
dragon-like
a
dinosaur.
I would probably give it a 6.5.
A 6.5, that would have been a really good one too. Now it's just a really cool prehistoric dragon-like dinosaur, and I knew when I did this review and it was dragon and Harry Potter themed that I had to pick you for my interview since I know you love so much about dragons and other mythological creatures. But do you have
And
a
I
favorite dragon? Yeah, there's your
have,
dragon field guide. Do you have a favorite dragon in there?
well, there's actually a lot to choose from because there's multiple families of
Ooh, multiple
dragons.
families of dragons? Like Gryffindor and Slytherin?
I will list them all right now. Amphitheater, Asian dragons, sea orcs, fey dragons, great dragons, drakes, hydras, basilisks, arctic dragons, worms, coatls, dragonettes, and wyverns.
Wow, that's a ton of dragon families, huh?
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 different kinds of
That's
dragons.
wild. Are you able to show us your favorite? Like, what? Pick one of the pages in the book that's your most favorite dragon in there, or maybe at least one of your top 5 dragons.
There's probably way too much to choose from.
Which one's one of the coolest ones in that dragon field guide?
The great dragons.
The great dragons. Look, that one's spitting all kinds of fire. I wonder if the Dracorex could spit fire.
Spitting fire is the correct way of describing how they do it. They don't actually breathe fire. They actually have these glands behind their jaws that have flammable fluid in them.
Cool.
And when they spit it out, it bursts into flame.
Yeah. I wonder if
Yeah.
dinosaurs had any of those glands. That would be wild, huh? That would be too cool.
That would be a good addition to the Dilophosaurus in Jurassic World.
That's right. That would have been cool. Instead of the black venom, they could have the fire, huh? Canyon and I always know you love to make all kinds of creatures. Do you want to show our interviewers your awesome dragon pipe cleaners? And I know you have that Lego dragon too, huh?
Yeah.
And that one's super cool. I can see its mouth right there getting ready to spit some fire.
And ice.
And some ice. And there's a red one, red and yellow. What about that Lego one with the big teeth?
And last but not least,
that one is too cool. I love all those cool creations you make. You do such a good job. Well, Canyon, thank you so much for joining me for today on today's our podcast interview. Did you have a great time?
Yes.
Awesome. Perfect. Now, do you have any last roars or any last words for our listeners?
Have fun and don't get eaten by a great dragon.
That's right. Stay away from that great dragon, huh? Well, thank you so much, Canyon, for joining us for today. And I can't wait to see you on our next virtual lesson, all right? I hope you and your family have a wizarding day, or a wonderful day at least, huh? Awesome. I'll talk to you later, okay?
Bye.
Bye. Now, if you're interested in being interviewed on the Dinosaur Review for Kids podcast, then be sure to head over to my Patreon club and enroll as a Junior Dinosaur Ranger today. Just visit patreon.com/StompChombRoar. Now you guys, I think it's time for our joke and the question of the day. And we'll start off with our joke as always. How did Harry Potter and the Dracorex enter Hogwarts Castle? Do you guys know? How did Harry Potter and that Dracorex enter Hogwarts Castle? Well, you guys, it's quite simple. They went through the Griffin door! The Griffin door! Get it? It's the Griffin door and not the Gryffindor like the house Harry Potter is a part of in the movies. And right there behind me, you can see my wifey Lace's Gryffindor shirt. And she wore that to Universal Studios last year, you guys, when we went out to California and they even chose her. It's a true story. We were inside the Hogwarts Castle at Universal Studios. My wife was wearing that shirt right there behind me, the Gryffindor Quidditch shirt, and they picked her when we were inside the wand shop. We were inside, it was all dark, lit with candles and everything. They picked her to try out one of the wands in front of my family and about probably like 20 other random strangers that we were in the wand shop. It was too cool, and I wish they would have gave it to her for free, but of course they picked her out because they probably knew she was a Harry Potter super fan and they wanted us to buy it for like $100 or something. So sadly, we didn't buy the wand, but it was still an awesome experience nonetheless. Well, you guys, let's get to our question for the day. Do you think the Dracorex is simply just a juvenile Pachycephalosaurus? Do you guys? As we learned today, some scientists believe the Dracorex really could lose its horns as their skull transformed from a flat head into a domed head. I'd like to know what animal that lives today can change the shape of their skull as they age. I don't think there is any, but could it really be born as a Dracorex, transform into a Stygimoloch, and then a Pachycephalosaurus? Could it really go between all those dinosaur genus really to only be an adult Pachycephalosaurus? I sure hope not. But what do you guys think? Is the Dracorex really just a juvenile Pachycephalosaurus, or is it truly its own wizarding dinosaur genus? Now remember, my name is Dinosaur Ranger Anthony, your paleo wizard for today's podcast, all about that Dracorex Hogwartsia. And as always, keep digging for dinosaurs. Oh wait, let me grab my wand for one last spell. Wingardium Leviosa!